ocean on one side and look at a creek on the other side. I can walk a little bit and be in an estuary. I can just as soon come on back out, be on the beach. I can go this way and be at the marsh. I can go the other way and then go to somewhere where I can farm some food, because you ain't farming no food at no beach unless you just get something on the water. But it's all about harvesting. But it's also about balance. Because if you don't know the right time, the right moment at which to plant and then to harvest, and just how much you should take at a given time, trust me, your words come into play. Extinction and endangerment. And those words are things that people have even applied to my culture. They've said that Gullah Geechee people were extinct, or that we were nearing extinction. We had the National Trust for Historic Preservation. Instead of naming it the Gullah Geechee Nation, put us on a list and called us the Endangered Coast. And then explained that it was the Gullah Geechee Coast that was endangered. And they weren't talking about the environmental impacts, but they were talking about the cultural displacement and the loss of cultural landscapes and historic buildings on the land. But did they ever couple with any of your groups to say, well, how did some of those buildings get lost? How did some of those communities leave? They actually went underwater in a hurricane. Did anybody think of that? When they started talking about global warming, it's hot where we live all the time. It's 95 degrees. Last week it went to 116, so they talk about global warming. We like to go, I've always been warm where we at. So it didn't mean anything to us. And so if we're not speaking the same language, we're not conveying the concepts and the ideas to one another, so we cannot understand. And one thing about my community and my culture, they ain't much on words, but they love proverbs and they live it. And my favorite proverb is, wisdom is the principal thing. So get wisdom, but in all thy getting, get understanding. My mom always said, understand the greatest thing in the world. And that's all she had to say. But I had to grow to know what that meant. Because when I would come out in public and someone hear me speak like this, they never identify me as a Gullah Geechee. They just say, oh, that's a black person. That's like just going to the river and pulling something out and it has fins and it has scales and all you say is it's a fish. It's not until we get these marine biologists, right? Ethnobotanists and various others. What's the other terminology? Dr. Hoskins is another long.
Benthic ecologist.
Benthic ecologist. That then will tell us, how dare you just call it a fish? It is not solely a fish. It is this particular species of fish. And you know what it eats? It eats this particular type of things that are within the environment, right? And why? Because they understand the science behind the creatures. We understand the culture, that no matter what you call it, if you poison the water it's in, it won't be there anymore. Neither will we, because that's a major part of our person. Water is what we have in common with all the creatures and the coast as human beings. Now you think they having a conference somewhere thinking about us? I doubt it. They're swimming, the birds are flying, they're enjoying their lives. No thought for that. We'd love to do the same, right? But not going to be so easy if that water turns so murky that none of us would ingest it and take it in. So we have to find a way that the way that we communicate with each other is as clear as the water in that glass. That we all can understand when we finish with the dynamics of a dialogue about the coast. But if you never taught the people who literally live in the water to find out how they survive living in water that's in a hurricane zone for over 400 years, when meanwhile buildings are gone that were there, that humans put there, and they're gone, whole communities are gone, but yet this culture survived, and you never ask them, how did you do it? You'll never understand some of the key things that folks say they need to learn in terms of putting it into a process that ends up on paper. But folks don't talk to you if, again, they just categorize you like I said earlier. So because I know many people have read books and seen documentaries about Gullah Geechees and you don't believe we wear shoes, that's why I often come out like I am. But I'm here to dispel the myth for you. Because in all actuality, today, we may carry a coca sack, but the shoes might be in it. All right? Instead of just the cotton or the rice or the indigo. And it brings us up to a different level. And sometimes we have to come to a different level so that people will even pay attention to you, to even recognize you. If I walked around the conference dressed like this all day, trust me, people will pay attention. They might call security, but they'll pay attention. So who's the lady? She work here? She work in the hotel? That's how they dress the folks that clean the rooms? What's going on? Because they wouldn't necessarily understand why I'm dressed the way I am. But the thing about it is all it would take would be for them to stop and talk to me. That's all it would take. And more often than not, we don't understand because we never talk, we never dialogue, we never ask. And that's why today we're having a conversation. Now, of course, I'll put another one in. Of course, in the Gullah Geechee community, we would never call it a cafe conversation and leave y'all in here hungry with no food or nothing like that. But we know we're in America now. So y'all will help me later understand how this is a cafe. All right, with no food. All right. But the thing is for us is that it's always about bringing people together in the midst of the circle, like how we started. Because one thing about it, if we have a circle that we all are in, what happens with the energy that goes out in the circle? Huh? It stays in, but it also what?
Goes around. It
goes around, right? But it's amidst us that are in that circle, right? So that means if I put out negative energy in the circle, all of us are infected with what? Negative energy. If I put poison in the circle, what happens? All of us get poison. Anybody here saw the movie Wanted? None of you? You did. Thanks. Dude. What's wrong with the rest of y'all? Y'all so scientific. You don't watch films. But yes, the movie Wanted. The reason I brought it up is at the end. I don't want to spoil the movie, but at the end there is a circular scene. And it's quite amazing what happens with what they put out in that circle and the ultimate outcome of everybody. I'm not going to tell you that because I want you to now go see the movie, and I don't want y'all to be like, oh, she already told me the answer, so no need to see the movie. But the circle of connection is critical when you talk about coast and coastal communities, because the communities are not just the creatures in the water. It's not just those in your agency or your organization that you're here representing today, but they may be people that you never saw before. And maybe people like crack your teeth like they should, think like that, oh, I want to get on, stand tall, at once. But if you start to say, well, excuse me, I don't understand you. Do you speak English? They might say, oh, yes, I do. I was just trying to see what you were going to do. All right? And so when we start to communicate, we start to connect. And so instead of having all those E's, maybe we need to get to some C's. Coastal community connections. And then we can get things back to be clear.